am super, super, super excited to have Candice here joining us today. And Candice is going to tell us a little bit about her business. But she's the director of Good Days. And Candice is a trained strategic psychotherapist, which sounds so fascinating and so interesting. And I cannot wait to dig into what you do with clients and how you help clients. But of course, I do love to ask some of the baseline questions first. So I'd love for you to tell us all a little bit more about what you do and how you got started in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a strategic psychotherapist. So it's exactly what it says. It's strategic, and psychotherapy as a modality. It's designed to it's got a couple of different modalities within it. So there is some NLP in there. There's lots of psychology and neuroscience. There's counseling services as well. And it's just combined to move people really quickly. It's like you have your own realizations. And unlike traditional types of therapy, like standard psychology or counseling sessions, where the therapist is allowing the person to come up with their own realizations, which can take years, this is a little bit more guided. And the strategy is asking particular questions to help somebody get to their own root cause or their own understanding much quicker. So literally in 5 to 6 sessions, someone can have a breakthrough, as opposed to going to years of therapy. And it's really great for mindset or overcoming things like anxiety, addictions, depression, anything big like PTSD, it's good for as well.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. I love this because I guess for me, the thing I love about coaching is that when we allow people to have those aha moments and have those breakthroughs, that's when the magic happens. But like you said, if you can make that happen faster, then we just get to kind of, it's almost that quantum leaping, right? We get to quantum leap and speed things up. So that's really exciting.
I love the term quantum leaping. So yeah, I've been in this work for 19 years and I have been trained in all sorts of things. I started in psychology. I've gone into some of the Ayurvedic sciences. I've done yoga training, breathwork training. I've looked at the body as a whole thing. So mind, body and soul. And this therapy that I'm doing now, the psychotherapy, it's the most powerful one that I've found, because personally I like things to happen a little faster. So I've been through the system of, mental health many, many years ago, and it can literally take years and cost thousands and thousands of dollars. So I was looking for a new way to bring people the results that they were wanting much quicker, help them understand their brains, and literally have the breakthrough that you're talking about.
Oh, so amazing. And I think this is the thing in business now, right? Everybody wants in business, or is this just in life? We want it to happen yesterday. So if we can speed things up and we can get through that process a lot faster, then absolutely, why wouldn't we? So tell me a little bit about, you mentioned your entrepreneurial journey and that you started in business when you were 11. I'd love to know more about that.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I heard this term the other day from an American friend, that she was a 3rd generation entrepreneur. And I'd never really thought about it like that, but I thought back through my family line, and I am a 4th generation entrepreneur. So it actually feels like something that's always been in my blood. And despite my family, my parents having some challenges in business because they hit some roadblocks where legislation changed and they just didn't have the right advice at the time, so they lost their business, I was always of this mindset of, like the pocket money I was earning wasn't enough. I wanted more, and I was always looking for opportunities to make more. So my first business was literally looking through a craft book, finding something that I thought people would buy, door knocking to get the deposits, because craft stores were insanely expensive back then. So I would door knock with a picture out of the book, make a sale, get the deposit, go buy the goods. Then I was at school, so I got my friend's mum to make the goods for me, and I would deliver them after school.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was and I didn't really realize what I was doing. I just wanted to, it wasn't just the experience of making money. It was the feeling of independence. It was the ability to be creative. It was exciting to be doing something different than just sitting around kind of doing nothing, like watching TV or playing with my friends. Like that was what I was in alignment with. So I went and did that. Now, when I was a little bit older, I found myself working at Kmart when I was 18. And I always thought when I was a little bit older that, I think this was from my family's story, that doing an actual business, like a real grown-up adult business, was harder than what I realized. I had this idea that I just didn't know how to do it. I would sneak around in Kmart and hide with business books. So I was meant to be like doing the stationery section, but I would be like with the business books, reading through, how do I do this? And I just ended up going to a friend who was a sole trader. So can you run me through the basics of how you're running your business? So then I went and started a cleaning and home maintenance service, and it took off. A lot of people talk about their first businesses failing, but like that was not an option for me. So I went so hard at doing that business before, like broadband internet had just come in. It was dial-up. This was the days where you had to have your yellow pages ad in. You had to go to networking events. Like you had to be putting yourself out there. There was no social media. Websites were like 15 grand. So you had to find ways to make that work if you wanted to survive. And I did. And I made that business flourish. But what I did do is I burnt myself out. So when you talk about things like, you know, you had this question for me, like, how did you keep through it? Like at your business through thick and thin.
Yeah.
I sold that business and started another one, which was ahead of its time. It was a social media marketing agency, but it was just ahead of its time for the area I lived in because Facebook pages were brand new.
Yeah. Wow.
So I let that business die, and I just decided that business wasn't for me right then. I got offered a career in media, and I accidentally stayed in that for 10 years. And then come back to business. So I've been self-employed again for the last 4 years, but sometimes I think it's actually nice to take a break if it's not working for you, either mentally, physically, or the market's just changed.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And I think that that's a big piece for people right now in business too. And I don't know, like I've had some fluctuations in the business where I've thought, and I remember starting the business and thinking, I'm never going back to another job again. But the truth is sometimes, and I say this, you know, I guess for a lot of other people out there economically, sometimes if that's what you have to do, it's what you have to do. But it's recognizing that it doesn't mean you have to give up on your hopes and dreams and the business ideals that you want to bring to life. It's just recognizing what's important at the time. But I think also, you know, it sounds like you've done this too through those businesses, taken the lesson of the time, recognizing, okay, well, it was a great idea, but it was maybe before its time. Or, you know what, I love this sort of a business, but I don't want to burn out again. So what are the lessons that I'm taking for when I do come back and, you know, really want to sink my teeth into something and make it work? How would I do it differently?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's so much value in what you just said. And it's for me, it was a big learning. That burnout's an interesting situation where you tend to not recognize it. So you're feeling tired and you're feeling a little bit different and you've got symptoms, but you can put it down to things. Oh, I am doing extra work at the moment, or the business has been busy, or I had a little bit of financial stress. And it just kind of hits you, and then it can take recovery time of, you know, sometimes a year.
Yeah.
So for me, when I came back into business, it was very much the question of, well, what do I really want to sink my teeth into again? Because business, in my experience, it isn't all or nothing. I've tried to do business on, like, I tried to run my social media marketing agency on the side of this new radio job, and it was like, if you're not giving something your full energy and attention, it's hard for, in my experience, it succeed as well. It's like you have to be all in.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely agree. I think that's the piece. It's doable, but to what level? You know, how do you split your time and your energy when you're doing things half here and half there? I think that was a big piece for me when I moved into the business full time. I was looking back on some of my notes the other day of, it must have been when I was still working full time before I started the business, and I had made some notes around what would my life look like if I could put it all into the business. And it was just so different. And the nice piece is that that's exactly how my life is now, is that, you know, I get to kind of live that, which is nice. So tell us, one of the other questions that I think helps everyone listening to understand a bit more about what you do and how you work is, can you tell us about one of your client wins, one or two of your client wins?
Yeah, sure. So I do two specific things in the business at the moment. So I do business consulting and coaching, which has got a heavy emphasis on marketing, because I've got a lot of training in consumer psychology and a lot of experience in marketing just firsthand from doing my businesses, training that I've done, and working in the corporate media space for 10 years. I understand advertising from that technology perspective. So I do work with people in their businesses, and then I also do general mindset work and therapist style coaching, as if you were going to a psychologist. So some of the wins that we've had literally in the last week, one of our clients has just hit a 15K month in sales, which is 5K above what she had wanted to hit. So yeah, exactly. How cool is that? Like it's 15K was her stretch goal. And when she started 4 months ago, her monthly goal was $4,000.
Amazing. Yeah.
And she's an artist. So this is life-changing stuff. Adding another 10K to your income for the month is
amazing.
Huge.
Amazing.
I've got another lady that I've been working with who has, she's had a pretty tumultuous year. And so she got herself in a really good place with the work that we've been doing over the last few months. And she decided to go back to professional athletics. And when she did, she placed best overall female for her sport in Brisbane, which was just in the last week. She performed at the highest level that she's ever been able to. And I had the most beautiful message from her one Friday evening. My fiance and I were sitting around the fire, and I was just like, almost brought me to tears, because you go through these journeys with clients and it's just like they get there, they get there and they're doing what they didn't even think was possible. That's huge.
Oh my goodness. I love this. So amazing. And they're the things that just set your heart on fire, right? When you just go, yes, I'm in the right place, when, you just have that heartfelt warmth for your client's success. I often say that I feel like in some ways I celebrate more when my clients have success rather than when I do. I'm probably not so good at, celebrating the biggest months and those sort of things. But when my clients do, I'm like, yes.
It's so good to celebrate your own success, because what humans notoriously do is we forget our little wins. We actually forget. It's the same as childbirth. Like women forget that pain or that experience they went through when all of the good, oxytocin and everything floods in.
Yeah.
But we do it with our wins in life as well. And we actually forget the person that we were 12 months ago, or the struggles that we were having 2 years ago. So definitely important to celebrate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Okay. So tell us, what is it that you would like to share with the group today? Do you have any tips or strategies for any of our clients who are, in particular situations, or what would you like to share?
What we're seeing at the moment is it's really interesting, actually. Having worked in the media, I am aware that the thing that they're following at the moment is the financial status of the country and the inflation rates, and what the media does. For anyone who's watching, I actually just want to let you know that in-house and even like out of house, so like in behind the scenes of media, it's called programming. There are actual people in those roles of program director. And it's important to know that, because it is actually programming us. Every time you consume something of that nature, it's programming us. Now, journalists do their research. They can only report the media releases that have been shared. So the question is, where is a lot of this information coming from? But I just want to remind people that it's with media, okay, just don't listen to everything that you hear, because at the moment
it's they want you to I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm trying to say it in the most politically correct way and the nicest way.
It's just contrived, right? Because at the end of the day, they need views, and we love the bad stories. So they contrive and they create whatever they need to create to get the views.
Yeah, that's right. So do some critical thinking when you're hearing these things. But the issue is that, look, personally, I don't watch the news anymore. I don't enjoy that negative tone and the clickbaity type wording that comes with like invoking that emotion. So I just don't watch it anymore. And maybe a lot of business owners watching this don't watch it either. But people are concerned about that, their clients are watching it, or people spending money. So I just want to remind everybody that there actually is a really great portion of people in Australia that have no financial issues at the moment, that are doing really well, and that have invested in other places and made lots of money during the COVID times. So don't let those limiting beliefs come through, or those fears. Wondering if it's the right time to be in business. And what I would suggest is just get really, really good with marketing. These are great times to knowledge yourself. And it's not always the best business or the best person that wins. It's the best marketing. So right now, I would advise just get really good at marketing. The easiest way to do this is to find a competitor in your niche, in your industry, that has got, more than 100,000 followers on Instagram in particular, and look at what they're doing and model that. If you don't have the time to go out and learn heaps of stuff and strategy, just model someone with success, because it takes a great deal of work and effort to get to 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, amazing. Oh my goodness, that's the best tip, because it was literally something that I was looking at yesterday. There's a girl that I follow and I absolutely love her work. And I was like, oh, I just want to model. I like your word there. I want to model some of the things that she's doing. And I think that's really smart. I think it's, if you can really, and I'm in sales, so I often say to people, you've got to learn how to sell too, but you've got to market to get the people to sell to. So we've got to, the marketing to come first. We've got to have some really great marketing, or at least lead generation strategies, so that we can then sell to people. So I love that idea. And I think for me, the marketing also is being really critical on what you're doing and how much business you're getting from your marketing. So likes and comments don't necessarily get you business. You've got to make sure you've got a really good strategy that can take that turn that like or that comment into a conversation. And it's one of the things that I'm really passionate about with my clients, is helping them to understand that putting a post up and spending hours putting a particular post up is not really a good use of your time if that's not converting into a conversation. So making sure you know what your strategy is to convert people into that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the misconception about marketing. Just having a couple of social media posts, paying a VA or a social media manager to do this for you, it's actually not marketing. The true term of marketing is collecting data or data. So depending where you're from in the world. So if you're not collecting, you get your analytics from social media, but it's not really, you're not offering that exchange. You're not giving some sort of high value content in exchange for an email address or getting somebody on call. The other thing that I've done is in my marketing, and when it comes to websites or landing pages, if you're doing those, is getting everything so detailed to suit my client avatar that by the time it actually does come to a direct message exchange or a phone call, it's a make a decision call. It's no longer a sales call. Sales calls for me used to be painful. They used to be like over an hour, and I'd find myself wanting to sell my value. Like, it's like, this is why, they trust me. I know I can help you. And I knew I could, but it was just this weird exchange of me selling myself. And I shifted that energy by realizing that my clients aren't me, right? So like, sometimes people are just going to want to pay for things to fast track their experience, and I should just tell them exactly what it is and how much it is and not be afraid of it. Other people want a little bit more information, so okay, I'm going to do that in another way, so I'm not stuck on phone calls for 90 minutes trying to convert a sale. So I now do make a decision calls. By the time I'm on a call with someone, it's like, you've got all the information, you know everything about what I do, you've seen the testimonials, so what are you doing? Are you in or you're out?
Love it. I love it. I love it. And this is a really great one for everyone who's listening as well, because I think that we've got to think about what are our ways of, we talk about the quantum leaping, like what are our ways of quantum leaping? So instead of spending hours on a sales call, how can we make sure that our clients are really aware of exactly what we do, exactly how we can transform their lives, exactly the value we bring? And I think also pricing, I think for a long time we've kind of shied away from really sharing prices with people, but I think, let's talk about that straight up front. Let's share what that looks like. And then when we get them on the call, it is just about that decision making, and then I think you also have a higher level conversation. So it becomes more of a, what is holding you back? And if you invest in this, one of my favorite questions is, if you invest with me, tell me how this is going to actually work for you. Because I personally don't work with people where we're sitting on the fence and we're not really sure. Like, I want you to be 100% sure that if you're working with me, you can clearly see how this is going to fill a gap for you, or it's going to fill a system for you to get you the results that you need.
Absolutely. It's such a great question. It helps the client actually buy themselves in, but it also, as you said, highlights any gaps that might be missing, or maybe they've misinterpreted something that's been said or misinterpreted the marketing information, and then you can clean it up there on the spot. So I think that the best way, like what I teach our business clients, is just go out and start doing. So at the moment, we're like almost finishing a 21-day Reels challenge. And what that's given them every day, I give a bit of teaching. It's like, here, go and practice this tool today. And it's given them so much confidence and clarity about how they're speaking about themselves and their business. Because sometimes it does take going through those awkward, horrible sales calls and being tied up with your time before you actually realize, I need a better system. It's like it builds confidence over time. If you are in that, going through that, there are absolutely easier and better ways. And yeah, maybe you're at the point where you're about to pivot, and I highly recommend that you do pivot out of those situations.
So good. All right. I'm conscious of your time. So do you want to tell everyone, because I know that you've got an amazing event coming up. Do you want to share with us that event?
Yes, we do. We've got it's a 2-day online seminar. So it's called Permission to be Powerful. Now, look, what people are going to get out of this is an actual breakthrough. So over the last 19 years, I've developed a really unique way. I actually feel like I have cracked the code when it comes to shifting your mindset, removing your own roadblocks. It's really great for people that have been feeling stuck or aren't really sure of the direction that they're going. And in as little as like 6 hours or less, you're going to have the tools and resources to take you forward. It's going to feel like a Tony Robbins style event. So there's going to be great energy, community, really cool information being shared. 2 days in August.
Amazing. And is it live or virtual?
It will be live, and we'll be recording it. We were at recently just a bit of a crossroad as to whether we'd actually record it, because the information that we're sharing it's it's a little bit risky, because if it was in the wrong hands, it could be highly manipulative. So we were like, do we just do this live and then it's not out there for people to share around? So I think we will record it, but we're just going to test how this goes out there. And if people start using this for manipulation in business or relationships or whatever, then we're never going to run this again.
Got you. Oh my goodness.
It's what we share with our one-on-one clients. It's actually phenomenal information. Most of us don't know how our brains and body work. We are going to be focusing on the brain stuff, but the power that's available to us. You might have heard motivational people talk about this in speeches, and it can get a little bit monotonous hearing it over and over again, but it's truly freaking amazing. And there's so much that can be learned. Simple changes that you can make to your mindset and your life that will actually 10 times your business, improve your relationships, improve your health. It's really, really simple. So yeah, we're going to share a strategy that's sort of not really shared in the personal development industry, because I don't know why. I don't know why people aren't holding this information out there more publicly. We've found a really unique system.
Amazing. Oh my goodness, this sounds incredible. I'm super intrigued. And I know that you've got a discount that you're offering everyone as well. Is that right?
Yes, for all your followers in your group, is going to be 50% off. So it's only $97, but we are going to be offering you guys 50% off. We just wanted to make this really accessible for everybody.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. So for everyone who is listening, make sure you click on the links. We'll make sure we put all the registration links below wherever you're catching this, whether it's on YouTube or on Facebook. We'll make sure we put all of those links below. And I know that you are going to want to come along to this event. Now, it's live. You're on the Gold Coast, aren't you? Is that right?
Yes, we are on the Gold Coast. So it's running internationally. We've got a lot of clients in America. So we're going to do it over a weekend where it's more 2 half days. So you won't be online all day, 2 days, but yeah, we're going to make it really easy for everybody to fit in around their busy lives. The best way to find out about it would actually be to follow me on Instagram, and I can share a direct link that's got a special discount attached with it with people. So it's Good Days with Candice on Instagram.
Amazing. All right. So we'll also make sure that we put all of Candice's links below in the comments section. So make sure you jump over there and follow Candice on Instagram as well, and grab your half price ticket, because that event sounds absolutely incredible. You bring such an amazing wealth of education, but also incredible experience. And I think that that's such an important piece in business, is that we surround ourselves by other people who can lift our vibration, lift our energy levels, lift our intelligence. And I think, you just have this gorgeous humbleness about you as well, which I think is really beautiful and shines through. So
I'm glad. Can you see my melon?
I can.
My office is full of toys. You got to have fun.
I love it. Got to have fun. That's right. So look, thank you so much for your time, Candice. I really, really appreciate it. It's been super fun chatting to you. And I hope that I know I've certainly got some fantastic tips from you, and I'm sure that everyone watching has as well. But yeah, if anyone is interested in going along to the event, make sure you click on the links below and get yourself registered.
Amazing. Thanks, Julia.
So lovely to talk to you. I'll see you soon.
Bye. Bye.